a magic under the azure waters of the Red Sea, for it is here that Huriya, a Bedouin goddess of extraordinary power and beauty, lives. Huriya's kingdom is the Red Sea that falls where Africa and Asia meet. Ancient sailors were known to call it the sea at the end of the world. It is a sea wrapped in legends that has found its way into the folklore of many religions. The Sinai Desert thrusts itself into the Red Sea like a wedge. It has few inhabitants, all Bedouin nomads who have learned to live with the barrenness that is the Sinai. They live from their herds and by their wits, and wander from place to place as the seasons and smuggling routes take them. The Bedouin are Muslims who have allowed strong pagan overtones to enter their religious beliefs. In addition to Allah, they worship symbolic gods and goddesses like Huriya, necessary for added protection in the harsh desert environment. The Bedouin hold the sea in special regard. It is an important source of food and the home of their most important symbol, Huriya, Khater, the mother of danger. Bedouin fishermen spend months at sea with Huriya. They believe that she will decide whether they will return with a bountiful harvest or not, or whether they will return at all. Others have been attracted to Huriya's kingdom, modern people who relate to legends and gods with little more than curiosity, and are here because of the ecological threat modern man is posing to the Red Sea. Professor Eugenie Clark of the University of Maryland is the head of an international expedition. With her is Ayman Taher of Egypt and Howard Rosenstein of Israel. It is from Howard's boat, the Fantasea, that the Huriya Odyssey takes place. An odyssey through a threatened environment and Bedouin culture. The spectacular beauty of the northern Red Sea reveals itself on every dive. Warm, clear waters, protected by two arms of uninhabited and undeveloped desert, have given sanctuary to unique strata of coral life. Over 1,000 species of fish live here, and marine life abounds. Eugenie Clark, professor of zoology and a world-renowned marine biologist, has been diving in the Red Sea for over 30 years. She knows Huriya's kingdom perhaps like no other person today. The Red Sea is Professor Clark's laboratory, but her relationship with it goes beyond science. It is, in her own words, a love story. The sea is alive. The process of creation and regeneration never stops. The balance is held by the unwritten laws of nature. Relationships between the species are often symbiotic. The sea anemone and the clownfish, for example, have learned to exploit each other. The anemone offers protection with her barbs. The clownfish brings her food in return. Hidden among the crenellations of the reef is a string of eggs containing the next generation of nudibranch, or, as they are commonly called, Spanish dancers. Armed lionfish, each with its own uniform, stand guard over Huriya's treasures, protecting the passage to coral and sponges, soft and hard and explosive in color. The Bedouin believe that Huriya does not open her gates to all. Those who enter, enter with fear. Only the best and the bravest among them will enter her womb, where sprees of black coral grow. Going down 30 meters and more without tanks is a feat few can accomplish. Once down there, the outside world loses its relevance. Huriya embraces the diver with soft currents, enticing him to stay, to forget his friends waiting above.
Huriya is, I believe, originally the woman who is using what we call it eyeliner.
Ayman Tahir has been photographing the Red Sea for over a decade. He is as attracted to the Bedouin legends of the sea as he is to the sea itself.
Huriya have a mysterious background, you know, like a genie. The fishermen, they believe that the Huriya is waiting there where the black corals are, and the Huriya was inviting them to share this luxurious life. She's asking for a man, taking this man to the deep.
They tell of Ali Musa, a strong and handsome man, the young pride of the Mazena tribe. Ali was a champion among divers, always going deepest, never failing to come back. One day, try as he may, Ali could not reach a bouquet of precious black coral deep beneath the surface. And then, as if guided by a magical hand, he was drawn deeper and deeper. His lungs were bursting, his head spinning. When he was sure he could stand no more, a naked woman, with the fairest skin and reddest hair he had ever seen, appeared before him. I am Huriya, goddess of the sea. Take this black coral and return to your friends. Take it not as a prize, but as a warning never to violate my kingdom again. Ali returned to the surface and told of his amazing encounter. He had seen Huriya and heard her voice. But his friends, greedy for more coral, sent him again. Go, they urged. Ali did, never to return. Black coral is very much like ivory, thus its value. But beware when you pick it, for it is Huriya's weapon. She uses its fine sprees to grab divers by their hair, keeping them trapped until they struggle no more. The Bedouin believe that dolphins are the reincarnated souls of those who have been claimed by Huriya. There are Bedouin who recognize individual dolphins, especially fishermen who look for familiar faces on long journeys. Dolphins, the Bedouins say, are the mediums between the surface and the deep. Huriya's messengers. Customs in the desert are as timeless as the scenery. Yet another coral fisherman is missing. For a week, his wife has been waiting for some sign from the sea. She retains her faith, though she is losing her hope. Huriya, Queen of Queens, the most gracious queen with many lovers, give me back my one and only. But this day again, Huriya does not answer. On the seventh day, as the sun sets, the woman and her family congregate on the beach. They offer a collective prayer for some news of the missing man. The search for the body continues at sea, while on land, final preparations are made for communion with Huriya. A young goat is slaughtered. The fresh blood is poured into a pan and offered to Huriya. Perhaps, in return, she will send some message as to her victim's fate. And then the message came, and the woman knew her husband would not return.
You know, the sharks like these too. They come, they nibble at the end of it.
Don't cover that now.
No. But just be careful, already.
At night, Huriya's kingdom goes through a total transformation. Those creatures that have spent the daylight hours hiding in the shadowy reefs now come out and perform in our spotlights.
When fishes and other marine life come into the Red Sea from the Indo-Pacific, if they establish themselves in the Red Sea, this very special sea of warmer water and higher salinity, they start to evolve, and you get a high degree of endemism. You have 10 to 20% of the fishes in the Red Sea are found only in this sea. In many parts of the Red Sea, you have these magnificent reefs that just come right out from land. You just get into the water, and in a few yards, the reef is starting to drop in a vertical wall. And this wall just drops in a few yards from shore to thousands of feet in depth. And all the sediment sinks to the bottom, and the water is incredibly clear. And the fish life is concentrated on this wall. And then right a few yards away, you have tuna, schools of tuna going by, mackerel, and pelagic fish coming in very close, all within one concentrated place. I don't know of any other place in the world that has such a concentration of beauty and fascinating fish to study. And the seasons change, and sights like that you can see all in one short space. In one dive, you see so many fishes, hundreds of different kinds of fishes, thousands of different species of marine animals, all concentrated in one place. went down the Sinai coast and found the increasingly wonderful reefs until I hit Ras Mohammed. That was just it for me. I was convinced that I really, although I go to other places in the world, if I had to dive every day for the rest of my life at Ras Mohammed, I know I would never get bored. There's so many interesting things going on in that one area.
Ras Mohammed is a gigantic rock at the southern tip of Sinai. Muhammad's camel is said to have landed here en route from Mecca to Jerusalem. The camel almost misjudged his step, but Allah pushed this rock out to meet him in time. Ras Mohammed, Muhammad's head, is holy to the Bedouin of Sinai. Each year they congregate here for the Gichaza, homage to Huriya. It is both a temple and a beacon, the first sign of land for those returning to Sinai from the Red Sea. The expedition leaves Ras Mohammed and sets sail south to the islands where Huriya is said to dwell. The sea widens and the calm waters of the north begin to churn into a persistent storm. Sharp eyes are as essential as good seamanship, for these reefs have claimed many a victim. Once past nature's hurdle, one can see to depths of over 100 feet with the naked eye. Why Huriya would choose this island for a home is a mystery. It is barren and its surface studded with fossils. There are no inhabitants other than these hermit crabs, designed by nature to live on almost nothing. With sunset, a Bedouin fishing vessel pulls up alongside. They are not used to seeing strangers here, nor being asked about their goddess, Huriya. We have not seen nor heard of her, they said. But we were told that she is here, El Malaka, Queen of the Sea. Still no answer. My father is afraid, the young man said. But she is here, isn't she? He persisted. There is a queen in the sea, but it is forbidden to speak of her. We still have many days out here at her mercy. The sea has its gods and its devils, just as it has its winds and its currents. We are at the mercy of all of them, and we do not speak of the mother of them all. My father, he has seen her. Only one man in 100 will ever see her. Who knows? Perhaps one day I will see her too. For the Bedouin, the Red Sea is the cradle of his faith, mythology, and his culture. To protect it, he observes iron laws that govern his relationship with nature. But modern man has proved less sensitive. The Red Sea is in danger, and because of that, an entire Bedouin culture is threatened. It was the threat to the Red Sea which brought the expedition here.
One more section in that because I saw more.
But preservation cannot begin without knowledge, and the quest for knowledge is endless.
But they look like almost little
And
paper
this opens and closes.
Yeah, it's related to the giant
but not
crab,
very much.
but it's embedded in coral. And what you're
Probably
looking
little.
down
It's
in...
not that kind of.
There's nothing like that. Very smooth.
Scientists could not wish for a better laboratory or for friendlier subjects. Where man has not brought harm, he is still accepted as harmless.
When I first started diving, more than 30 years ago in the Red Sea, I thought that all this beauty was just endless and that it would always be here. And I used to spearfish. In fact, I'm ashamed to say that my first book is entitled The Lady with a Spear. I did selective spearfishing to try to find rare specimens for museums, but I also speared for food. But now I wouldn't touch a spear gun. I haven't used a spear gun in years because I just think it symbolizes a kind of destruction that's going on in the world now. Because fishes are very sensitive to associating danger with an object like a diver. And in areas that have been spearfished, when you go down, you hardly see the fishes. You can't get close to them. They swim away from you. But in an area that's been protected, like in a nature reserve, marine sanctuary, a marine park, you can go down and the fishes seem to come up to you. In fact, they get so used to divers, their curiosity, sometimes the divers feeding them, that they come up to you and you can photograph them.
Ironically, Poseidon's trident has taken on a different symbolism. It has become the head of a spear gun, the harbinger of destruction. Man has accelerated destruction in other ways too. By killing off the starfish's natural enemy, the pufferfish, these acantasta, or starfish, have multiplied way beyond nature's intention. So now legions of unmolested acantasta eat their way through the sea's corals, leaving deserts where gardens had been. This ancient coral reef was destroyed in a second by fishermen who preferred dynamite to the net.
Really, this must be some of the oldest corals in the Red Sea. They must be 1,000 years old or more. And to think that one anchor can go down and knock that over 1,000 years of growth, or even 2,000.
An inadvertent cause of destruction to the reefs is wrecks. Wrecks like this once proud British merchantman that has been on the ocean floor for over 100 years. It lies as one of many in a graveyard of metal skeletons, thousands of tons of steel deposited indiscriminately on the ocean floor. These metal wrecks represent for the Bedouin proof of Huriya's potency and wrath. But navigating between them is the real enemy, the supertanker. This is not a precious black coral, but coral choked to death by oil delivered on Red Sea beaches, devastating everything it touches, like these mangrove swamps above the water and these ancient coral reefs below.
People raping the reefs, taking corals to dry and sell as souvenirs. All this should be stopped now. Dynamiting should be stopped. Spearfishing should be stopped. In an area that's this beautiful and fragile, that so many people are discovering, you've got to control it. You've got to recognize it as a very special area. And the way to do that is to make it a marine park.
Unless Professor Clark's words are heeded, the Red Sea will soon reach the red line. Professor Clark, Ayman Taher, and Howard Rosenstein are known names to those who care about marine ecology. Those who have been here understand their message and are aware of the dangers. In some places, there has been a gradual regeneration, Huriya using the unwelcome skeletons of wrecks to plant new gardens. But there is a danger that these too will be destroyed before they reach fruition. Only cooperation between the countries of the region and the United Nations will be able to guarantee the survival of Huriya's gift to man.
Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, all the countries of the North Red Sea, should cooperate together in protecting this unique treasure.
A unique treasure. That is how everybody who has ever come into contact with this world has felt about it. The thought that this wonderland may be desecrated is cause for fear, and the fear grows as the beauty increases. The Bedouin have a saying, remove a coral and you have caused a star to fall. They believe that all the universe is connected. Once ecology is tampered with, it reverberates from the ocean floor to the celestial heavens. Could this be anything but a magic kingdom? Huriya's kingdom.